Welcome back to the Birds and Swords video game podcast.
Woo!
I am Micah, she's Alyssa, and we're coming hot out of Thanksgiving. How was Thanksgiving?
It was so good. I ate so much food.
Oh, what's your favorite Thanksgiving?
Stuffing.
What's your favorite side? Stuffing?
Stuffing.
Stuffing?
By far. I could just keep, I
Is
could
it-
eat it so much.
Is it one of those things where you get like a little bit of turkey, mashed potatoes, and stuffing all on the same fork at the same time? Or you
Oh,
just
yeah.
eat it straight?
And I put gravy on all of it.
Yeah.
I don't eat a lot of turkey because I feel bad for eating turkey. But,
Bird.
yeah. Well, it looks like, when they cook it, it looks like the turkey still. So that cognitive dissonance leaves
Oh,
my body.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a bird.
Yeah.
So,
Get what you mean there?
yeah,
Rip
I
the
can't
leg
just
off.
pretend it's
Yeah.
not. Yeah. So, but the stuffing and the potatoes, I mix it and put gravy all over it. And,
Multiple trips back.
so good.
So back on the mic, out of Thanksgiving. I guess it's Christmas now. Might as well be, right? So Merry Christmas. So coming into December, the Halloween episode was our last one. So I guess we're keeping the holiday
All
theme.
right,
So
keep it going.
Coming back with it. We got a episode we've been waiting for a long time to do, actually. We're going to be covering Zelda today in its maybe entirety.
We're gonna try.
We'll try to keep it short. So, if you guys have played any kind of Zelda, it's almost impossible to cover all of it in an hour and 15 or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
But we picked out some stuff we wanted to talk about. And I think, especially with the movie announcement, which we're going to get into shortly, that's kind of what sparked our idea. And, we need to sit down and talk about Zelda finally. Speaking of Thanksgiving, a lot of sports on, a lot of football, right? So I was watching Sunday Night Football last night, the one that's on NBC. There must be some kind of affiliation with NBC. But they showed the trailer to the movie Migration.
I want to see that so bad.
They showed it like 30 times in one game. I'm not even exaggerating. And it had like in-game little clips where like birds would come up in the corner. It'd be like Migration. And that comes out Christmas Day, I think.
Really?
I think so. Or
Interesting.
it says this Christmas. Maybe it's not.
Around Christmas
We're
time.
not here to report on the movie Migration, but I wanted to ask you about it because Illumination Pictures is doing that movie. They did Mario movie and Minions and some of those other ones. So it's obviously an animated feature, but I couldn't quite wrap my head around on how this hasn't been done yet.
I know.
Because usually, especially Pixar, but a lot of the animation studios, it's all about like the buddy adventure or the journey.
And this is
what a better
journey.
one than Migration. So what do you know about Migration?
So I've seen the trailer like once. I think it was before we saw another movie, and I cried because I want to see it. Literally just out of pure excitement for this movie. I know that it's ducks, right? And then they leave their home to go migrate, but they end up in the city, and there's this pigeon that helps guide them, but she's crazy because she's from the city. It looks really good because it's birds.
Yeah, it is birds. It looks like it's mimicking like the family road trip kind of deal.
Yeah, because it's got the parents and the kids are really adventurous. The dad doesn't want to go, and yeah.
And they're ducks?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the mallards, right?
Yeah, I mean, there'll be other birds in there.
Yeah, but those are the main.
But yeah, that looks really cool, I think. Because like I said, the whole idea of, I was like, how have they not done this yet?
Right. That's kind of what we
Migration
thought when we
makes total
saw
sense.
that too. We were like, oh my God, yeah, duh.
Yeah. So we'll have to check that out. We'll report back after Christmas.
I read a review, 5 stars. I know it already.
There's birds on the screen
Birds.
the
It's
whole
not
time.
about birds.
By the way, watch Rio, both of them.
Oh my God,
I
yes.
still haven't watched them.
What?
I know.
I have them on DVD.
Is the digital video disc?
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
If you can find a DVD player, I have them.
Well, I told you so did your PS5 play it?
No, that was a CD.
Okay,
But I didn't try it yet.
did it play a CD? Since I told you that, for some reason, I'm thinking that they don't play CDs.
Oh.
And that people were like, what? Why? It's like the simplest media to...
Yeah. Well, nobody listens to CD. You can just put your Spotify app on your PlayStation now. Why would it play a CD?
Yeah.
So.
But you were like, I don't have anything to play it on.
Yeah. So basically, some guy, I was for my job, I'm an event planner, and we were looking for bands. And one guy gave me a CD for his band, and I couldn't find a CD player anywhere. So I've never listened to this man's music ever. I'll find it someday probably. But I mean, even at the office, they found one in storage and brought it out, and we hooked it up, and then it didn't work.
Like one of those
it was all,
little...
yes, and it
Yeah.
plays the 3 discs.
Yeah.
We couldn't it was all dusty. I'm blowing the dust off of it, and yeah. So I still
Hard
haven't
to play
heard.
a CD these days. You probably have drive in your car? I have a CD drive in my car.
I do not.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
That's even becoming obsolete.
So I've never listened to the Swivels music. So,
Yeah.
but
Soon.
yeah, I still have it on my desk.
Okay, cool. Anyway, migration coming out. So with that, let's talk about the Zelda movie. So we don't know much at all. We have very limited information. So we did get a confirmation that there's a Legend of Zelda movie. So let's start here, I guess. It is been confirmed it's live action, which Mario wasn't,
Yeah.
etc.
Okay.
So how do we feel about it being live action? Now, I guess before you respond, like, there's definitely going to be some CGI.
Well, there has to be. Otherwise, it's going to be like the lamest movie ever.
Do we think, with that said, do we think the actors will maybe be more like an Avatar type of thing? Or you think it's just going to be just regular live action actors?
Ah, gosh. It's hard to say. I mean, if you're going to go with regular live action actors, then it has to be like a Twilight Princess setting almost. Like,
real life.
Yeah, it has
a lot of Zelda is cartoony, right?
Right, because
2/3 of it is.
That's the thing, is like half of the art is the animation itself, and like,
So how are they gonna?
how are they gonna like?
Would you
project it into?
Would you have rather it be animated? Yeah.
I mean, we've seen their animated past, so we know that that's not always the best route. But I don't think it was the fact that it was animated that it was the problem. I think it's just like now we have the resources to make something really good. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just scared.
Okay. Well, we can recognize that it has massive potential just because video game adaptations have been doing well lately.
Yeah.
So on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So let's dig into the people behind it before we move on, I guess. So Miyamoto is the producer, so he will oversee all creative decisions. So that's good. He did the same thing with Mario.
Thank God.
Mario was great. The executive producer is Avi Arad. He's not in charge of. He's been executive produced the Spider-Man movies, not the.
Which ones? The older ones?
Yeah. No, not the oldest ones.
Oh, like the Homecoming and
yes,
those. Oh,
that
those are
era.
so good.
I was starting to say, or I was trying to say, not Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
So the Spider-Man movies, Iron Man. He also did the Uncharted movie, which I still haven't seen.
I didn't like it. I fell asleep.
And he's doing the new Borderlands, which we're obviously excited for.
Right. Okay.
So he seems like a good person to put there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Screenwriter is Derek Connolly in Jurassic World, Kong Skull Island, and Detective Pikachu.
That's interesting. Actually, that's really good. I feel like those 3 for 3 there.
Okay. Director is Wes Ball. This is where I don't feel like he's proven himself yet. So this is where I've at least got a little bit of concern. So Wes Ball, the Maze Runner series, have you watched those?
Mm-mm.
They're okay-ish.
Okay.
But he is in charge of directing the new upcoming, what's the name of it? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
So massive scale type of things.
Yeah,
right?
which is kind of what we would be hoping for something like this.
Yeah. So I feel like that, still kind of a question mark with him, but as far as movie type, it fits him based on what he's worked on. I took a look at a couple like YouTube videos of like some of the shots that he had done, and like with Planet of the Apes, and trying to compare it to what something Zelda would look like. And I was like, yeah, I could see that. So maybe that'll work out. I like the names behind it.
Yeah, I think we have a good roster for the most part. I mean, looking at like Detective Pikachu, how hard was that bringing Pokemon into real life, right? And that's like a big concern with live action Zelda. So I think just having that person is already like a point for us.
Yeah. Well, I feel like with the live action, like Link, Zelda, townspeople, that's all good, but there's so much.
And if they have to have bosses,
it's a fantasy world, right?
Yeah,
so
like dragons,
that's where the CGI's got to come in with a lot of the creatures or enemies and combat, stuff like that. My next question is to myself and the world, the internet, and these guys and Miyamoto is, what's the story going to be?
Right. Right.
I mean, we'll get into some of that today, but there's no way to know if that's like an Origins thing or if it's
I feel like
something in the middle and then they do an Origins later because that's a popular move. Like, where do you even begin?
For me, I feel like they almost have to just meet in the middle. It has to be the generic Zelda timeline of like Zelda or Link saves Zelda, right? But it has to be new and fresh. New story, same base. Does that make sense?
So you'd prefer new? Is this what you prefer, or is
I think
this what
yeah.
you're anticipating?
Maybe both.
Okay.
Because if they give us an origin story, I mean, Legend of Zelda origin is like the 3 goddesses came down and created heaven and earth, and like they might start with that, but we can't start
like
there.
Skyward Sword era,
right before Skyward Sword even. But that would be cool if they did Skyward Sword era. But then again, the CGI, we're going to be in the sky, right? So
you're gonna make like 20 movies. Like that's
they have to do what everyone knows, which is Hyrule.
Yeah.
That's like because they have to pander to every generation. Because you have to think that like the older generations, a lot of them didn't move on to the newer games where we have like the Skyloft and everything.
That's just my biggest curiosity is what the hell is the story going to be?
Yeah.
Especially since it's movie. And that brings me to my next point is would you have preferred this to be a TV series other than a movie? I want everything to be a TV series now.
Yeah, I think that's just like the thing. Because especially with like something like this that has so much lore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably. Because
Who watches movies anymore?
Yeah, there's
people watch movies. I don't know.
There's not really much out there. Like horror films are like the only things that remain movies.
Like I'm fine with it, and it'll probably be. I don't know. You anticipate it being like 2.5 hours long. I mean, we'll see because who's the target audience? Like, is this kid friendly? You know, it just depends. Kid friendly movies aren't going to be 2.5 hours long.
No, I don't think this will be kid friendly.
Or is it going to be some kind of gritty?
I don't think kids play Zelda anymore. It's all us. It's all like 20 and up. I don't think kids play Zelda.
Yeah. You're right.
I think they all play Fortnite. Yeah. They sound old saying that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into some of the reasons why later, probably, why they're not as easily attached to it, shorter attention span, stuff like that. Casting for the actors. Chris Pratt gonna be Link.
No, please.
Legend of Zelda coming soon, starring Chris Pratt.
I did see a funny TikTok, and it was like, this voice actor was like, "Should I like tone up the voice a little bit, like in an audition?" And then Chris Pratt walked in. He's like, "How about I do this in my normal voice?" And they're like, "You're hired."
Perfect. Have you thought about it at all? Who would make a good Link?
No, I haven't thought about casting at all, really. I mean, it has to be like a
Tom Holland?
He might as well. I mean, he would be a better Link than Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I have a feeling it's going to be like a Game of Thrones or Witcher to some extent, where it's going to be just a bunch of amazing British actors that we've never heard of.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that seems right.
It seems to be
There's
what
someone had a really good idea for who should be Zelda. What's that actress's name? Hunter something? But she was in Euphoria as the girlfriend. There's a lot of girlfriends.
Is she like a petite blonde?
Like literally looks just like Zelda. Like same facial structure.
Is Zelda blonde?
Well, Zelda's
Red
blonde
hair?
in a lot, and then brown hair some, and red hair some. One, I don't know. Mostly blonde. Brown is in Twilight Princess.
Red. Where am I seeing red?
Red was in like an older one, I think. Shoot, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I saw concept art with red hair, maybe.
Yeah. So we'll see who plays everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder, because Ganon's going to have to be the villain, or do we see Ganon? Do we
Seth
see
Rogen.
Do we see a human form? It's just Seth Rogen. Jack Black.
Jack Black.
Jack Black, please play Ganon. Yeah, I mentioned the story. I feel like it's going to be a thing set up for sequels.
Yeah.
Just like everything is these days, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll probably see sequels. But yeah, I mean, I'm just excited for more information. Since these names, especially Miyamoto being attached to it, I have faith that it'll at least be average and entertaining. It's just going to be so hard to beat The Last of Us in any kind of...
I know. And The Witcher, too.
Yeah.
The Witcher. I mean, I think they could pull a lot of inspiration from The Witcher, honestly, because that was very fantasy.
Yeah.
With
I
real
just doubt
people.
they go that dark.
No. Not darkness, but just like how they handled the fantasy aspect.
Even though they could.
They could really go dark.
Yeah.
Zelda could.
But I just doubt
Even though it's E for everyone.
Yeah. Before we move on to kind of our thoughts on the series, here is let me pull it up. So you and Zach, where was this at? Let me transition this in. Here's you and Zach. Your Link
Yeah.
And Zach is Zelda, right?
Yeah.
Gender bender.
Yeah, we swapped.
This is Halloween, it says.
Yeah, it was Halloween. It was our friend's wedding. They had a Halloween wedding.
Oh, yeah, it says that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Was it on Halloween Day?
I believe so. Or
Or-
Halloween weekend or
Yeah,
something.
that Saturday, whatever
Yeah.
that Saturday was.
Yeah.
So everybody dressed up?
Yeah, everyone
Cool.
did. It was really fun. It was such a good time.
And I know you've cosplayed some Zelda or Link things before too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've done a couple different versions of Link. And then I also did Saria at one point
Okay.
from Ocarina of Time. I love her. I have a soft spot for her.
Why didn't you do it tonight?
Should have, right?
all that labor
Right.
would have had to go into it.
Barely could find my hoodie with the Triforce on it.
Yeah, it is nice. Zelda tattoos.
I have the Triforce.
Yeah, you and a million other
And
people.
literally every person that's played the game.
Yours pretty good. Where you have it's on your arm, isn't it?
Yeah, so I actually have a story with this tattoo. Me and my friends went to it was a tattoo shop behind a sex shop. It was like attached to it. And we went there and we're like, do you take walk-ins? And they were like, sure, fine. So we each got the Triforce and we wanted to do blacklight for different pieces. Like I wanted courage, someone power, someone wisdom. And the guy was so drunk doing our tattoos that they turned out like shit, first of all. It looked bad. But when he was doing mine, he was like, straight lines are hard. Like it was like they looked so bad. So I got mine redone by my artist, but it was yeah. So the blacklight like looked like if you put my arm under blacklight, like someone came on my arm. Like it was like splattered.
Splattered.
Yeah, it wasn't filled in or anything. It looked so bad.
Crime scene.
Yeah, crime scene of a
Crime
tattoo for
scene.
sure. Luckily, it was like $30. So they gave me a discount because he was so drunk and he felt bad.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good. Good for you.
thank you.
Popular tattoo decision though.
Yeah.
A lot of people have that. And a lot
Yeah.
of Zelda tattoos.
There's tons of gorgeous Zelda tattoos. Some of my friends even have like Wind Waker scenes, like of the
Ooh.
whole like water in the boat, and or Majora's Mask with the moon, and like
Yeah.
there's just so many good tattoos. I want to do
Popular
a Ashley's gonna do my Zelda sleeve.
You're doing a Zelda sleeve.
Hmm
Why you
Well,
just
like
put
a
all-
half because I have my Hawkeye up here,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that'll be good.
I just want to
'Cause
do
you
a
can
bunch
put
of
all
stuff
your
I like.
favorite stuff in it.
Yeah, it's just gonna be like my favorite characters, pretty much.
Korok seed. Or you can
Kukos. Should I just get a bunch of the Kukos?
get, yeah.
It's just like a whole bunch of
And
them.
golden poop. Oh, golden poop. I got all 300 right here. Okay, so Zelda, right? That's why we're here. So I guess before we go to break, let's talk about why. You know, when we were talking about doing this episode, we were like, so how? We don't want to just have a favorite list of this. And here's our favorite characters of this, favorite enemies, favorite games, whatever. So more as a whole, I guess, what makes the series so special?
You want me to go first?
You go first.
Oh
yes.
man, there's so many things. I think one thing is we really as a society like flock towards the hero's journey, and I think the Legend of Zelda series follows that perfectly. Joseph Campbell's hero's journey, where like you lose something and then you go and you have to overcome all these things, and it's just like the typical human journey in a metaphor. You're playing through your life in these games, essentially. Like you are overcoming things in your life that you're doing through the puzzles of Zelda.
Wow, deep cuts.
That's how I've thought about this many nights when I'm
Yeah.
up late.
Yeah.
And it's so the story is very metaphorically relatable, obviously, not literally, but also like playing a character that doesn't talk so that you really fill his shoes, and puzzles in a game that are so fulfilling to conquer because they're not impossible. Like all
they're
these
hard.
yeah,
Most of them.
but they're all, once you do it, you're like, that makes perfect sense. There's no puzzles where you're like, that is stupid. Everything about the game is so well thought out. It's beautiful. Exactly.
You just found something.
I did.
That's the secret noise, right?
I could go on and on. I mean, even the character designs and the lore and just how deep it is. And it's just like you're the hero saving the princess. And
What makes it so different?
so different. Well, what's like it that hasn't copied it?
I know. What is that though? I'll answer for you.
Okay.
You know, I was thinking the adventure too. It's
Yeah.
such an adventure. Every game's a little different. I compare Link to the Past, which is clearly my favorite one, to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom a lot, and that's weird. But those two have the most open-ended exploration, I feel like, of all the games. Like those games don't have a do this next. So the overall sense of adventure is kind of untouched, I feel like. It's mysterious. I think it's really mysterious.
Yeah.
Like it kind of just throws you into story beats like you know this character already, even though you still get to know them as the game goes on. And some characters only appear for one scene and they're memorable.
Yeah.
But there's this magic and you don't know all the history. It's like you don't know all the information ever.
Yeah. It's
Ever.
just such an adventure. Everything is an adventure.
All kinds of characters, like you said, there's lots of evil in the world, but there's also this comical goofiness to it that you don't see branded in a lot of other games, you know, beside each other. And like you said, the hero's journey. And I really like that it's I use the word guideless. I don't know if that's a word. So it's like a guideless adventure. So it doesn't, like, you don't have a journal or a HUD on the screen saying go here and do this
Right.
next.
Yeah.
There is none of that. It's just kind of like, go, you'll figure it out. Talk to some people.
And you do.
There's a lot of requirements before you can do other things. That's a staple of the Zelda series, but it won't tell you that until you go and try to do it and can't.
Yeah.
You're
There's
like,
a big
man,
rock
I
blocking
need something. I need to be able to do something, so I'll have to come back here.
Yeah. This boulder looks like I could blow it up. I wonder if there's bombs somewhere in this game.
So just revolutionary in that sense that they don't hold your hand and tell you what to do, but still everyone can play it and learn it and go on this adventure and learn everything.
The game assumes that you're intelligent enough to beat it. And I think that is really great. Because a lot of games, I mean, I even catch myself like, well, I don't know what to do right now, so I don't know. You know, but in Zelda, this is, you know what you signed up for.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to figure it out.
Yeah. So I think that's what makes it special to me. Obviously, both of us kind of have some first experiences that we'll talk about later that makes it even more special. But I really feel like it's different in the fact that it doesn't hold your hand. It just exists. Like the story wouldn't move on without you. I guess that's a simple thing to say that would apply to anything. But you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Like, until you get into it.
It is your own adventure. Because sometimes you can do things out of order too. Like especially in Breath of the Wild. You can pretty much do anything in any order, which is really crazy.
Yeah. You can choose which temple you want to take down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get into all things Zelda. We do have a special guest coming up on the backside of the break. We'll have Jade Seely with us. She loves Zelda, so she's coming back on. We're going to phone her in. We're brought to you by www.betterhelp.com/the barn, Black Bayou Coffee Roasters, and Healthy Hemp Gear. Stay tuned. Zelda after this.
Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you can talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. With BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and at a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/the barn. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/the barn.
Welcome back to Birds and Swords, the ginormous Zelda episode.
Woo!
We have got a special guest on the phone line today. We've got Jade Seely. Hey, Jade.
Hello.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm thriving and vibing.
Thriving
How are
and
you?
vibing. Great. We're great. Thanks for coming on. We know you like the Zelda. We appreciate having you on last time. Quick job update, right? We switched over to what are you working on now?
I'm over at Respawn working on Apex Legends.
Woo!
Apex Legends. Do I have a
Yay.
yeah.
Yay!
So
Yay!
so what do you do there?
I'm an associate UI artist, so all the graphics you see on the screen, that's our team.
Okay, cool.
That's amazing. Congrats.
Little
That's
Yeah.
huge.
Thank you.
So
Thank
cool.
you.
So cool. So you know
Thank
video
you.
games, you know art. We're gonna keep you on for a little bit of the art stuff if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, totally cool.
But first of all, we kind of just went through this in the first segment, so we want to talk about Zelda today. So, Jade, what makes Zelda special?
The amount the creators can bullshit and make it fit into any situation or timeline.
Yeah, that
That's,
too.
that's a really good
We
point.
haven't gotten into the timelines yet, but
Yeah.
yes.
Oh gosh, yeah, no. They can kind of do whatever. But I think it's just the purest form of the hero's journey that I've seen in video games.
Yes, that's what I said. Yes.
Yeah, and you're right for that.
Yes, they both said it.
Woo.
I love this
But,
phrase.
yeah. No, I think it's just a really good. I don't know. The franchise is all well made. You can tell it's made by the best of the best and people who are in love with the game and appreciate the work they're working on. I don't know if you know, but I heard that a lot of the team that like worked on Twilight Princess and like the older games, they're still working on the games today, even though they completely switched to like, they're older 2D games. I think some of that team's still on it. So like, they're people that love the game they work on, and
That's so cool because they grew with the game then.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can feel that because you feel the games maturing as they go. So I feel like that shows in their work.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
it's really,
didn't know that.
Really nice.
So a lot of the same people, huh? So they've all got to be like 70 years old.
Yeah, I guess. Like, yeah.
I guess. I'm sure a lot of
Grandpa's
them are.
making another Zelda game.
I will feel so bad if I just completely someone told me a lie and I just repeated that to you, but I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Most of the facts I say on this podcast are from Reddit, so you know.
Oh,
I love that. Yeah, same energy.
Yeah.
Everything here is verified.
This is a factual podcast, nothing but straight facts, fact checked.
Yeah.
But we did mention the hero's journey as well. What else did I talk about? I mentioned how it's guideless. Like it doesn't tell you. It's just open in the fact, and it was really the first game to do that because right from the get go it was like that.
Figure it out.
Yeah. It's not hand-holdy. Yeah, that's pretty damn true.
So, what was your first experience with Zelda? What was the first game you played?
The first one was Twilight Princess for
GameCube.
It was either GameCube or Wii. I forget which one I played. But
so the fun fact about Twilight Princess, here it comes, is if you played on the GameCube or you played on the Wii, they had to completely reflect the game, like swap it, like it mirror it because he's left-handed. So if you played on the GameCube, Link is left-handed, but if you play on the Wii, they mirrored it so that you can swing the sword with your righty hand.
No.
They mirror the whole game. Because if you look up a walkthrough, they show you the Wii walkthrough map, and it's all backwards.
So what?
Yes, the whole game is mirrored.
Is Skyward Sword like that too?
No,
it's
because that was
just,
meant for the
Twilight
Wii.
Princess.
Yeah.
Link is left-handed?
Yeah.
Always?
Yeah.
In the older, they might have switched it with. I
not
think Breath of the
anymore.
Wild, he's righty and stuff, and Skyward Sword. But in the older games, he's left-handed. So Twilight Princess, when they released it on the Wii, they mirrored the whole game. So the people who played GameCube, it's like completely flipped.
So what do you think, Jade?
Yeah.
They just hit one button? They just hit one button and it flipped
Absolutely
the whole
fucking
game?
not.
Is that how easy it was?
It feels like that's what
Honestly,
they did.
I wish. I wonder what they did do though, because no, you can't do that. I'm sure a lot of things had to be rebuilt. Maybe because I don't know. Well,
Even
we'll
the
have to
maps
Google
are
it.
flipped. Even the maps are mirrored.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's flipped.
Yeah.
I would assume they had
crazy.
to completely, even for the resize and everything, because they probably upped from like 720 to 1080 or something, right?
They
must have.
probably
So
they probably brought on the Mario Kart team and said, "Hey, You guys know how to
Give us your mirror
flip stuff, right? They just brought them in. Easy peasy.
Micah, I hate that you actually you could be very close to the truth.
Yeah, it's not like they hadn't done it before. Well, were
Right,
Mario
no, exactly.
Kart mirror tracks out by
Yeah, they were on GameCube.
GameCube?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Because they were hard.
Wow.
That's so interesting. I wonder what I'm gonna look it up.
Because I
I'm
played it on the
curious now.
GameCube. So I like when people are like, I played it on the Wii, I'm like, we played a different game.
That's a great tip.
I tell everybody that fact. It's like the one thing I know.
Yeah. No,
It's
that's
so
great.
good.
That's a
Did
great
you-
thing to know. That's a good tidbit.
It's really good. Did you know about the glitch where you can glitch yourself into the main start screen? And
Yes.
it's a wild. Yeah. I used to do that shit all the time.
That's what I did for fun.
I had so many
It
friends.
was my little thing. Yeah. But yeah, Twilight Princess was my first game, and
That's a good
freaking
one.
love that game.
No wonder you're
Yeah,
gay. That's like the
Yeah.
gayest Zelda.
That's the gayest Zelda.
Oh my god. Thanks.
Have you played all of the Zeldas since?
Yeah, I've at least tried all of them. So this is where I'm gonna start to sound like a fake fan. I wasn't a big fan. I did not like Ocarina of Time, which is what a lot of people love. I did not like Majora's Mask, which is also a huge favorite. I don't think I finished. No, I finished Ocarina of Time. I don't think I finished Majora's Mask.
Not many
because I
people
did
have.
not-
It's okay.
Okay,
That game
makes
is
me
like
feel
just a
better.
bundle of anxiety anyway.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I have played even the originals. I've at least tried for a few hours. Wind Waker is probably my second favorite. Yeah, I think I've played all of them.
Have you played Link to the Past?
Yes,
Super Nintendo?
I own it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you.
You're in.
Is that one your favorite?
That one's my favorite. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. There's millions of reasons. Millions of reasons.
Okay. I'm pumped. Okay.
So what's your favorite one then?
Probably Twilight Princess, just because of the yeah, I go back to it every year. I do I try to do a replay of it every year. And then honestly, for the experience alone and how revolutionary it was, Breath of the Wild, I would say, is really close to Twilight Princess.
Yeah. It feels I mean, yeah. It's hard not to have that up there.
Yeah, and then I guess in that case, Wind Waker would be third, but also technically second. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting because the Breath of the Wild kind of took Twilight Princess and Wind Waker graphics and put them together. I would feel like. Well, I guess
it's
because
very strong.
Skyward Sword was Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, they all kind of delved into this art style.
Yeah. What's amazing about Breath of the Wild is, man, it came, 31, 32 years after the first one, and it was still revolutionary.
Yeah.
Like when it came out, people were like, what?
People who'd never
you can
played
climb
Zelda.
everything?
Yeah.
You can cook food, like just the way, just unbelievable. And I think that's why Zelda is so awesome, is they just never flop. Like they can reinvent it, and it
unless
just
it's
always
Spirit
works.
Tracks.
Yeah, choo-choo. Yep.
Oh my god, I forgot about
Choo-choo.
Spirit Tracks.
Not the train.
Not the train, please. Not the evil train.
God. Oh, that's so funny. Actually, I don't think I played the second Phantom Hourglass. I don't think I played that one.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I went all the way back.
You don't.
Thank
can
you.
Leave, you can leave that.
You're
one
not really
out.
missing much.
We need one more. Well, we got Zach. We should all play Four Swords.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
That would
we
be fun as
should.
hell.
That would be so
That
fun.
would be yeah, I'd be down to clown.
Yeah.
Is that the only co-op, like online Zelda thing?
We could play Hyrule
It's
Warriors.
Oh my
Hyrule
god.
I
Warriors.
I know a thing or
Or
two
maybe,
about Hyrule Warriors.
maybe not online. Well, what are we gonna do? I'll link our GBAs.
Yes.
Our Game Boy Advances.
Yes, I had the hookup for my GameCube where you could play Game Boy on the GameCube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
So cool.
lucky.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I saved up for so long for that.
I was gonna say you're rich.
Yeah, it was a lot. It took many moons to get that allowance saved up.
Oh, that's so good though. But yeah.
All right, while we got you, let's talk about art. You guys take it away. I like Link to the Past because I love sprites. That game is beautiful still. But other than that, as far as
yeah.
direction and stuff, I think it's super unique, and you guys should talk about it.
Talk about art,
Yeah.
art in general. I mean,
For Zelda, yeah.
Yeah.
just in general. So, I think what another thing that makes Zelda so special is how different each game's art is. I mean, look at Wind
Yes.
Waker and look at Twilight Princess. Toon Link
Right.
is so goofy, and then
Yeah.
Twilight Princess Link is like a hunk. You know,
Yeah.
so and just like the whole atmosphere of the games. I mean, everything is so different. And creative. I mean, Wind Waker
Yeah.
almost looks like it's a watercolor game. It's so bright.
Yes. And Skyward Sword literally being watercolor.
Oh yeah, you're so
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I do. I think that I like how much they change things up and keep it interesting. Like, I feel like someone there, a creative director, is just like, yeah, I want to go for this vibe, and they always nail it. They
Yeah.
always get the vibe to match the color palette.
They don't like dip the toes. They jump in deep. Like
They-
it's
yeah,
they
they
go
just-
full in. Everyone's on
for
board.
sure. Yeah, totally. And then I think Minish Cap is an underrated artistically.
I want to play
game.
it.
It's okay. I won't say it's so good, but it is really.
I'm trying to picture
pretty
it.
and
Minish Cap
fun.
is like everything tilted a little bit,
No, it's
you know what I mean?
another. Well, kind of.
like
yeah,
hats
yeah.
and
It's
stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, it's an
Hoods.
up down. It's 2D.
And you've got the hat, the bird hat.
Yes, the bird hat game. But the color. I've also
it's a
played
bird
it
hat.
on. Are you guys googling it?
No.
No, I have
Oh.
a picture of it. But I'm just I remember because when I noticed it was a bird hat, I've been looking for this game for a long time. Now I feel like you can just download it somewhere, but
Yeah, play it on your toaster,
Yeah.
your smart toaster.
For sure. Oh my God. But like it's beautiful. I suggest a good like full color, full brightness screen and Minish Cap. It's beautiful.
Special shout out, Minish Cap.
Minish Cap.
So,
Yep.
what
Sorry.
art style do you prefer? Wind Waker, maybe? Like, what's your favorite out of
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think Wind Waker is my favorite because it's just so different from all games. It's like just
Mhm.
even the character design is so goofy.
That's
It's so
fair.
circular. Everything's round
it-
and soft and silly.
silly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It fits in well with like the old style games, I think, too, because he does feel kind of like a 3D sprite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
So I do appreciate that as well.
But I do like Twilight Princess too. I feel like
That's the thing is like
they're just so different.
I thought
And Majora's
they
Mask.
are.
The
Yeah,
Happy Mask salesman is just so creepy. Like who drew
Yeah.
that? Are you okay?
Yeah. That came straight from a nightmare, right?
Yeah, that is a nightmare game.
Like, it's in your dream journal.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, someone drew a hand coming out of a toilet. We were talking about that before.
Yeah.
Like, someone was not okay when they made Ocarina of Time too.
Yeah.
Or the things that just look at you and scream, the Re-Dead or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, I hate
Yeah.
those.
And then they
Yeah, no,
hug
no,
you
no.
and hump you. Like someone is not well.
Or what's the like half woman, half cuckoo bird?
Oh, that little like
bird
thing in
human.
Twilight
Twilight
Sword.
Princess.
It,
Yeah.
they,
No, they're everywhere, right?
yeah, I think they're in Twilight
You
Princess.
know what I'm talking
too.
about?
In Skyward Sword, the little things you find, they transport you, and they're creepy as
Yeah.
fuck. They have
Are
like
they
a
little?
human face, but they
Yeah.
look like
I have a bird
Yeah.
body or
Yeah.
a chocobo
And they got a
almost
bunch
looking.
of boobies. If you
Yeah,
look at the
they have, like,
models, they got a
4
bunch of
boobs.
boobies.
yeah. Oh gosh. And
Like,
they're
why is that
shaggy.
in Zelda?
Yeah, what was that about? Someone put that on the table, and the art director was too tired to say no. He was like, honestly, out of all the shit you presented me, let's just go with this.
Yeah, that
We
sounds
got to
good.
ship in a year. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're past the deadline on that.
Right.
Just green light.
He already animated it. Just leave it.
Yes.
Great.
But also artistically, I do want to state that I don't think Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom are artistically like anything super crazy special, but I do think that they utilize a lot of really cool tech. Like Joanna brought it up to me the other month, but like no matter when you look at Link, he's always properly shadowed and like rimlit so that he stands out against his environment.
Wow.
And creates contrast so that it's easier for you to see him.
Yeah,
And
that's incredible, actually.
it's really well done, and I wish more games would implement it. I could bash on other games that do this horribly.
Do it.
Okay, so my biggest gripe is realistic games like Horizon Zero Dawn. A lot of them have really rich environments and then really rich colored characters, which some companies, like a lot of Sony games, know that their characters should be gray or like pretty desaturated, and then their environment should be saturated so that the character stands out against the environment.
Yeah.
But games like Horizon Zero Dawn or other ones that like super focus on environment, they'll also make their main characters heavily saturated, and then they don't do anything fun or interesting with their lighting. Sorry. To pull out the character in the foreground from the background, like a lot of other games, like again, Uncharted, will like kind of vignette around the screen to like make the background darker or whatever, or they'll make the character darker in the foreground and the background lighter so that there's contrast there.
Yeah,
and
that
then
makes
anyways,
sense.
yeah, it's a whole thing. But and then Horizon doesn't do any of that. It's just all saturation, and I can't see a damn thing. But I like how they do it in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, where he constantly has that lighting around him that makes him pop while keeping both things saturated, and it's very well done.
That's really cool. I'll have to keep in a lookout for that. I haven't played that yet.
It's not like that on Breath of the Wild, though?
No, it's just
new thing.
It's well done. It's rimlet, and it's beautiful.
Nice. Some good insight.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen, because I think Genshin probably tried to steal that idea too. I'm willing to bet, but I don't think I've ever seen them do that in another game with the rim lighting like that.
Always advancing. I'm kind of with you. I don't think the new games stand out artistically as much as some of the others, and they're not bad looking games. It's like they played it
trying
safe
to go for realism. Yeah, exactly. They're going for realism, and it's not. It's a video game.
Yeah.
Right.
Be creative about it and push it in a way that at least is more accessible to people. Like, I want to see my character.
Yeah.
I hate it when, whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, we got one last thing for you.
Yeah.
Would you play, outside of what you can do in Hyrule Warriors, I suppose, would you welcome a Zelda adventure where you play as Zelda? Like a single player, like standard mainline Legend of Zelda game, but you play as Zelda?
As Zelda. Well, I was hoping Tears of the Kingdom would do that, honestly.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were.
Yeah.
There was like a lot of rumors going around that was going to happen.
It made sense. Like,
yeah,
it's fine. I think that if they were to do something like what we thought would happen with Tears of the Kingdom, that would be cool. I want one, but I feel like you can't name it Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Legend of Link.
Like it's a heavy name.
Yeah.
The Legend of Link. Yeah.
Legend of Link, the myth of Link.
You got to go save his ass.
Yeah.
Instead.
Yeah. But that's exactly it. I think that I would want the standard of playing as Link if I am playing a Legend of Zelda game. But I also would kill to play as Zelda because she's a hottie in every game, and I love her.
My question is, would you rather have a game where you play as Zelda or a game where you play as Link, but Link is a woman?
Linkle?
No, not Linkle, the Hyrule Warriors. Leave it out of this.
What, you mean Linkle's got a whole game?
If you could play Linkle in a full Zelda game, like a Twilight Princess style game, would you prefer that, or would you rather play Zelda?
I would rather play Zelda because that makes more sense.
I think I want female Link, and I want Zelda. I want to keep it gay. Keep female Link.
You're right.
Female Zelda.
I take it back. I didn't know that was like a point. I didn't know that was on the table.
I didn't know that was an option.
If it could be a little gay as treat, I would fucking actually kill for that.
Yeah, me too. Even if it was just like a DLC, I would pay for that.
Oh yes.
Jade, thanks for coming on tonight. We really, really appreciate it. We miss you.
So much.
Miss you.
Keep doing awesome shit at Respawn. Is there anything we can look out for with Apex Legends coming soon? Do we have a new season or anything we can look for your stuff on?
Yeah, I think Ignite is it's out, so play it.
Play it.
All right, play it.
And Apex rules.
Yes.
It really does.
Yeah.
Really does. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Thank
Love
you. Talk to you later. Love you. Bye.
Looking to add to your outfit or home in a sustainable way? Look no further than Healthy Hemp Gear. Now partnered with Birds and Swords to bring you even closer to perfect solutions for your day-to-day life. Use code BNS, that's B&S, to get 15% off each order of hemp apparel and home goods, just for being an awesome listener. Go to healthyhempgear.com today to check out apparel that appreciates the earth and you.
Welcome back to the Birds and Swords Zeldathon. Ready to close this out? We've got some really interesting things to talk about in the final segment. So let's talk about the games, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Games, that's why we love it. How many do you think there are total?
Ooh, there's so many. I'm going to take a just absolute guess. I'm going to go with 17.
There are 29 total
What?
games, including the originals, ports, remakes, and collections. But there are 20 original mainline Zelda games
Okay.
if you include the Hyrule Warriors games.
Okay, cool. Let's include them. Nice. Well, if we don't, then I'm closer.
Yeah, you are.
I'm
You're
really
pretty
close then, yeah.
You're pretty close. So are the Hyrule Warriors, we've probably even exhausted the whole Hyrule Warriors conversation with you playing those, but are those canon, the stories?
They became canon when Breath of the Wild came out.
How's that?
I don't know. That's what I read on Reddit.
Again, all facts.
All facts, nothing but facts. Peer reviewed for this podcast. But what I read was that because Hyrule Warriors, the premise is that you can open portals to the other worlds. So like Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and you can go to those worlds. So somehow Breath of the Wild coming into the mix, either Breath of the Wild and Hyrule Warriors are both canon because they're a mixture of the worlds together. Like Breath of the Wild is a combination of all the Zelda games. Like Hyrule Warriors, you can go to the different ones. Breath of the Wild is the combination, or they're not, or both aren't canon. So it's either they're both in or they're both out.
And you put them in, you feel like?
I feel like I do.
Who makes that decision, I guess?
Redditors.
Redditors? The fact checkers.
Yeah, the Hyrule Warrior 76 lover on Reddit. I don't know. But I mean, I like to think that they are, because it's just fun. I have no other reason other than it's just fun.
Yeah. That's fair. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Plus, it's around 20.
Yeah.
It's around 20. So the first game, The Legend of Zelda on NES, came out February 21st, 1986.
It wasn't even a thought.
37, almost 38 years ago.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. That is so crazy. And it's still going so strong. Just...
And that's a game almost every other year.
Yeah.
Even though it seems like the wait is longer. Maybe it has been lately.
And like Jade said, like there's a lot of the same crew working on it. So that's just amazing.
Yeah, they've just spent their lives working on it. But yeah, 37 years ago. So should we let's talk about our favorites. You can go first. Do you have a clear favorite?
Wind Waker.
And that's in stone. That is the favorite.
Yeah.
So why do you prefer Wind Waker over the other ones? Wind Waker was what? What system?
GameCube.
GameCube, right?
It
got remade a couple times.
Yeah, so I think I've talked about this on previous podcasts a couple times. I played that game when I was really sick, when I was coming to terms with like my tummy issues in middle school. I missed a lot of school and I was very anxious. So this like game of just sailing around peacefully and silly, goofy, bright colors, it really just resonated with me and brought me out of a tough time in my life. So I will always have a special spot for it. I just love how silly and fun it is. And going back and playing it as an adult, other than the nostalgia, it's just fun. I don't know.
That game is full of like whimsy.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the goofier ones. I can't even recall dark parts of that game.
Yeah.
Even though there are some.
Yeah.
And there's probably some feeling of loneliness in that game too, like sailing around and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
But most of it is even gets to be comical sometimes.
Yeah. And maybe that is something that really resonated too, was like you're just on an adventure by yourself, overcoming everything on your own, but it's fun and you do it and you win.
And you win. Are some of your favorite characters in that game?
Favorite characters. Yeah, I mean, a lot of my favorite characters carry over. Like, I don't know if this counts as a character, but the Kuko.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just you can't. It's just so funny that these fuckers are so strong and they're just chickens.
Yeah. Is that their first appearance?
No, their first appearances. My first experience was an Ocarina of Time, but they very much could have been before that.
Yeah, I think they have been. They
Yeah.
might just not have been named. They were just around.
Yeah.
Some of the older ones, the NES
Right.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like Beetle, he's a favorite.
Yeah.
My least favorite.
Hey, hang on.
Oh.
Yeah, I got a sound clip of Beetle, don't I?
Oh, yes, you do.
I don't remember what it is, so this is going to be. So what is Beetle? What was
He just sells you stuff. He's a traveling merchant. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But my least favorite character is in Wind Waker, and that is the Booger Kid.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the bigger kid.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So he's
Where's
just
the hate coming from?
He's just nasty. He's got his big old booger hanging down, and it's like hanging down to his feet, and he follows you around and chases you and stuff, and it's so gross and annoying.
Yeah.
Like, so why did that? Why?
Another one of those. Why is that in there?
Yeah. Yep.
Toilet and booger kid.
Yeah. Saria is one of my favorites. She's an Ocarina of Time. Midna from Twilight Princess. I mean, just tons of really, so many memorable characters.
Yeah, there's a whole going back to the movie. Like, how
Yeah.
are you going to include all of these things unless
Right.
you're
'Cause
making
you have
three
to
movies?
throw in recognizable characters for the nostalgia. I feel like you have to.
Yes.
What about you?
Wind Waker. Not Wind Waker or Wind Waker for me.
I bet I don't know what yours is.
It is 100% Link to the Past. Ooh,
And why is that?
just let it hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Link to the Past was it was definitely the first Zelda game that I played, but that game still holds up today because, like I was saying earlier, the exploration, like, it doesn't hold your hand at all. Like, it doesn't tell you where to go. You can just go, and a lot of once you get past like the prologue, you have to like go in the castle and do some shit at the beginning. But after that, it also has like different worlds that exist within the map. Like there's a desert area, has the Lost Woods in it. All those things are in it. But it doesn't tell you where to go or anything to do. And that was really revolutionary. That game came out 1991. I don't know like what time of year, but 1991. So that was like the NES or the SNES pinnacle of Zelda. And then it was the third Zelda game. It went back to top down because they did that weird, the NES Adventure of Link, Zelda 2 Adventures of Link,
Oh, I never played that one.
like the side-scrolling one.
Yeah. Is
But-
that the
and it
one where it's
didn't-
his sister? Zelda's his sister?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That's like one of the forgotten Zeldas
Yeah.
for sure. So that one like didn't land and everybody knew it. So they went back to the top down with Link to the Past on the SNES with all the new power and all that. And it was the first one where the map you had a flipped version of the map because it had the light world and the dark world.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the areas are the same, but there's still enough differences that makes it the dark world. Like the fairy fountains are replaced with something different. And that was revolutionary for the time too, to have two different maps like within the same region. It's the first game with the Master Sword.
Really?
The Master Sword's not in the first one, and not to knock the first one because revolutionary also. but the second one just amped it up. Like you didn't have to wait for the screen to scroll.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could just pretty freely walk around.
Yeah.
So it was better in all those regards. You wanted to talk about his pink hair, right?
I did,
In
huh?
Link to the Past. He's got the pink
Oh,
hair.
yeah. He went through a phase. And
So that's a phase?
yeah, it feels like he went through a phase. I love it. I'm here for him. His little emo scene phase, goth, whatever, with his pink hair. I love it.
So it's a 16-bit sprite, but he clearly has pink hair
Yeah.
for no reason.
I love it. Maybe it's just like how it was rendered when it came through post. I don't know.
Yeah, we
I
should
think-
ask Jade about that. Maybe
right,
she knows.
Right.
But I was trying to think if it's like part of his hat. Like
Yeah.
we still don't
But
know.
when you sent like a gift to me when we were talking about doing this episode, and
Yeah.
it is so clearly his hair.
Yeah,
It's
like,
for sure his hair.
yeah, it's like flopping around.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on there, but it's fine.
love it.
That's the
here
best
for
Zelda
it.
game. Like Jade was saying earlier about which one did she play? I don't remember. Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
I try to play Link to the Past every year. I actually haven't played it in calendar year 2023, but I still have a chance. Plus, I was telling you earlier, I was like, man, I want to play it.
Yeah. And
We'll
the
play it.
fans are always begging for remasters, so maybe it'll come out on the Switch. I know everybody's begging for Wind Waker on the Switch. I am.
So, Link to the Past. So, where is that? Let's transition into some of this timeline stuff. So, I guess.
You want me to just kind of go through it quickly?
Yeah, it's convoluted. I guess to preface, there are 3. How many links are there? There's 3. There are 3.
There's like there's like a timeline, and it breaks off into 3. So the initial timeline is everybody's timeline. So it's the creation of the world and the heavens and the earths and the goddesses, and that kind of delves into Skyward Sword, which is the beginning of the Link's story. So that goes into things like Minish Cap, Four Swords, and Ocarina of Time is the end of everybody's timeline. So everybody shares
So, what's the first one? Skyward
Sword. Yeah, so Skyward Sword is the first one, and that is the beginning of everything.
Chronologically, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess to clear all this. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah, it's not the first game.
Yeah. So the timeline isn't the same as the order of the games that came out.
And this is from Hyrule Historia, my Bible. So, and this could be
Wow,
updated.
It's so awesome. Yeah.
I love that we both have it. And people waited years to get these answers because people had formed their own timeline for so long that we finally had our answers with this. And so it's just great to have it. So Skyward Sword chronologically is the first game. It's the beginning to Link's adventures. And
And that's where the next 3 come in before the timeline
so the
splits.
Minish Cap, Four Swords, and Ocarina of Time is like the big story. That's the one that like really most fans know really well. And it's the ending of Ocarina of Time that splits into the 3 timelines. So
And it's always the hero fails.
Yes.
The hero wins.
You know-
The hero poofs into dust.
Yeah, so the first timeline is the hero is defeated. So essentially Ganondorf wins. And if he wins, that takes you into A Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Ganondorf wins, you get A Link to the Past, Oracle of Ages, and Oracle of Seasons.
I haven't played the Oracle's games.
Me neither. Then you get Link's Awakening, which
Yes,
I've played the
which is
remake
good.
of. And then Legend of Zelda and The Adventure of Link.
Which is Zelda 2.
Oh,
That-
okay.
That crappy NES one. Yep.
Yeah. So essentially that is as listed in Hyrule Historia, the decline of Hyrule and the last hero.
So it ends with Zelda 2.
Mhm.
I mean, it's playable, and if you adore Zelda, you can probably go back and play that game. But that's the end of that timeline. Is that game?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yep. So as of as of when this came out. So I'm not sure
Yeah,
how that
we
has
don't have
changed.
Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are the 2 that are in that, right?
Right.
Okay.
So then the second timeline, the next 2 are the hero is triumphant, but the difference is that the first one is that it goes back to young Link. So essentially what happens is young Link young Link from Ocarina of Time, sorry. So it goes back to young Link from Ocarina of Time, and he basically tells everybody that Ganondorf is a traitor. If you remember, he's like, he sees him in the castle, and he's like, whoa, this guy is sus. So that happens, and everybody believes him. And so that goes into Majora's Mask. So Link goes on his adventure, and instead of going through Ocarina of Time where he goes into the future, he gets lost and finds Skull Kid. So that
and weirdness ensues.
yeah,
Yep.
so that this is essentially the darkest timeline. So he goes through Majora's Mask, and then Twilight Princess is the next one, the next Link reincarnation. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's not Jesus.
Resurrection. Yeah.
Jesus Link. Sorry, I keep calling this my Bible. It
Praise
just
the- yeah.
so the next reincarnation is Twilight Princess,
Yep.
and the final is Four Swords Adventures.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, which is an interesting
Weird
end.
that the timelines in. I haven't looked at that in a while. But
Yeah.
the timelines are in on the oddball games.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
So-
so he's triumphant, and what's the last one? He's triumphant and
Yeah, he's triumphant and he basically disappears. So the ending of Ocarina of Time happens, but he goes back in time and nobody knows why it was successful, blah, blah, blah. The hero kind of disappears. So in this one, Ganondorf is sealed away. So instead of just like, we caught you, he's sealed. So the ending of the game of Ocarina of Time.
gone forever. Yep.
Yeah, so he's sealed, and then Wind Waker, he's unsealed. So that's the start of the third timeline. So he's unsealed in Wind Waker, and then unfortunately we get Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, and it ends with Spirit Tracks.
So where's the OG Zelda? It's in the failed, isn't it?
Yeah, where he failed hero
Yeah.
defeated.
Wild.
Yeah.
I feel like the best games are in the failed.
I would
Row.
probably no. I really like.
Or is it just because Link to the Past is there?
Yeah, I think that's how you. Because I feel like overall, I think the second timeline where the hero is triumphant, but he's still young through Majora's Mask. But Wind Waker is my favorite, so Sealed Away. I don't know. I like the second
There's
too.
still, man, it's so cool that there's just that enough information to make us have these conversations.
Right.
Because there's still no real answers in there.
Right.
You know, here's what could happen to this hero.
And they could be just bullshitting us. They were like, the
Oh,
fans
yeah.
want a timeline, so this is
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
This is our And I believe it, and I'm in.
And with each new game, you always think about how is this going to fit into
Yes.
all the lore. Almost every game he's been asleep for 100 years, right? He
He's
wakes
always
up.
passing out. He's the sleepiest boy.
Yeah.
Even Ocarina of Time he oversleeps, and Skyward Sword he oversleeps, and like that's how the game starts is he's sleeping in.
Yeah.
You know, and then in Breath of the Wild he's sleeping for 100 years. So he's a sleepy boy.
Yeah. But yeah, just so it's cool that they have timelines.
Yeah.
You know,
It's so
I
awesome.
don't know if any other game has done. I mean, I'm sure they have.
Not as convoluted as this unless you're Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. I'm sure you can get. I'm like the Elder Scrolls. It's got super deep lore. There's probably
Yeah.
some alternating paths on the history of their universe too.
True.
But it's cool that it's in this because, like I said, especially with each new game, you're like, how does this fit in?
Yeah.
And then the different links. There's young Link, adult Link, and Toon Link? Are there
Yeah.
three?
There's like
Really?
3 art design links, but each game is their own link, except Wind Waker and Phantom Hourglass are the same link, and
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are the same link.
Yeah. Those games
And
like
then maybe
go
a couple
together.
other ones that I
Just
didn't
like Breath of
find.
the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are probably the same link. too,
Yeah.
I would assume. You wanted to talk about how he doesn't speak, and I do too. So let's hear him speak real quick. Let me see if I can find that.
Words of wisdom.
We pulled the screen. Okay, so he's an unspoken character, but he definitely has combat lines. Here's some of those. So that's about it, though.
Yeah.
I did research it a little bit. I was like, man, let's see if he said something somewhere. And there are some instances, like the big obvious one is how does Zelda know Link's name? Because I think she asked for it at some point. And then the older game, like Link to the Past, you can name your Link.
Well, yeah, a lot of them you can. At Wind Waker, for sure, you could.
Really?
Because
Okay, yeah,
everyone always calls him my dude.
Yeah.
Because it just makes the game
My
hilarious.
dude. Yeah. So sometimes he has a different name, and I guess he has to speak that. But there are some text options where you reply yes or no. You could infer that he just shakes his head and doesn't say anything, I guess. But they did find, at least on the internet, that there's like 3 or 4 or 5 something occasions where he would have had to say something.
Yeah.
But as a gamer and from our perspective, he is a completely silent hero. And I love that.
Me too. I actually I saw an interview about this from Miyamoto. Is that how you say his name?
Mhm.
where
Nailed
he
it.
said the whole point is that you are creating the dialogue when you're playing. It's coming from you. So when you're seeing these things or reacting to these things, you're giving it, which I think just makes you fall into the hero's shoes more, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he accomplished what he was going for, because I do feel like I am Link when I play the games, even though it is third person. It's like I am him, he is me.
And it's not like there's not dialogue in the game. And then newer ones even have some cutscenes with some spoken actual dialogue. But there's always been a lot of text bubbles and characters talking. It's not like
Yeah.
you're not getting any
It's
story
not-
at all.
Yeah,
It's just not coming from Link. because
Right.
That was a good way to put it because you are Link.
yeah.
So, anything else on the unspoken? I mean, there's been a lot of unspoken heroes since, probably.
Right.
But he's like the OG.
I'm interested to see what they do with the movie on that. Going back to that, are they?
Oh, yeah.
Is he gonna
I guess we
speak?
didn't mention that at all.
Yeah,
did we?
which is like a big thing, and I forgot to mention it when we were talking about that because we dove into so much other stuff. But like, will they have him speak? Is that going to ruin
It'd
it?
be weird
But if he
didn't.
doesn't speak, it's also really weird. Like, how do you approach this?
Yeah.
Had to be a big argument in the like creative room.
It's just going to be Tom Holland going, hey,
Please, please.
that's a good point. They're going to have him talk.
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't want to watch it now.
I'm
I'm
out.
out.
You can't do this
I'm
to
out.
me. You can't
Go
do
watch it. All right, final thoughts. So what's your favorite Zelda moment, or what's the moment that stands out for you? Maybe you were little. Was it from your? Were you little?
My favorite Zelda moment. It's so hard. There's so many good ones. A really big one is, this is kind of a spoiler, but the game's like freaking 15 years old now. So, Midna's reveal at the end of Twilight Princess. I mean, when she has her reveal, it's like, oh my God, this whole time I thought she was a furry, but she's hot
Yeah.
and she's gorgeous and she's a princess. And that reveal will always stick with me. It's really well done. Can I have more than one moment? I guess, a Breath of the Wild, walking out and seeing Hyrule for the first time in these like new Switch
On the
graphics.
plateau,
Yeah.
everybody was talking about the plateau.
And it's just like every graphic, the game cover, everything. Like, yes. When you're playing Wind Waker and you go and you find the Hyrule Castle for the first time, that was like really bone chilling. Oh God, there's just so many. Okay, I'll stop there. Okay, you give some or one or whatever.
I have one distinguished, like one that affected me, I guess, at least as a gamer. It's Link to the Past, of course.
Yeah.
1991, I was 9 years old. And I played it pretty soon, so I might have been 10, maybe even 11. Hell, I don't know. But it was the idea of find requirements. And what I mean by that is, like, I really wanted the Pegasus boots because I ran into an area where I couldn't use them, right? Like, you have to, like, dash into, like, a rock to break it. You can break rocks with them. The main story has you, and I didn't know this at the time. The internet didn't exist and all these things. Like, the end game is you have to get this book, and it's on the top of a shelf, and you can fucking see it. You can interact with it, and it says Book of, man, I forget what it's called there right now. Book of Medora. So it's right there, and it says what it is, and you're like, okay. But it ends up you have to, like, dash into the wall to get it, right? So it starts this chain of events where you need to get the bow. And then once you get the bow, it gives you an access area to get the Pendant of Courage. And then after you have those two things, you can go to, like, the shopkeeper, and then he will sell you the Pegasus boots.
That's so cool. That's so Zelda.
And when all that happened, it just floored me because games weren't like that. They were combat-based, they were action-based, or you jumped over gaps and jumped on top of enemies or shot them or whatever. But this open world that it just made the game feel alive. You know what I mean? Like, there were certain areas I couldn't get to yet, and having to go back and figure it out on my own, and then finally figuring it out and it being rewarding was just game-changing moment. And I think that's probably why... a big reason why I love video games now, because people pushing the limits and, you know, constantly things you haven't seen yet
Yeah.
that made you play differently as a gamer. And they're still doing that, like we said with Breath of the Wild and Tears
Right.
of the Kingdom with climbing everything and all the different things. Plus, Tears of the Kingdom, I know you haven't played it yet. Like, you can make anything. I'm sure
Yeah.
you saw plenty of TikToks.
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah.
Like, we're still being revolutionary there. You know, put wheels on things, build monsters.
Yeah.
It just gets out of hand. But that's my favorite moment. It's more of how it
More of an
impacted me
experience,
as a
yeah.
gamer.
Yeah, that's really great. I had something similar, but it's less fun. I was doing a Zelda puzzle. I think it might have been Twilight Princess, and I got super stuck on the puzzle. I was like, I can't figure out how to get out of this room. It's just me and these 3 blocks, and I don't know what to do. And so we had dial-up at the time, so I could look up a walkthrough, and I tried. And it took like 3 hours for the page to load. And once it did, all that I had to do was use the right bumper to pull the block.
Oh no.
It was like one of those moments that will always stick with me because I was like, oh, I'm so stupid. But it was like not even a puzzle.
Yeah, you're just moving something out of the way. Okay, well, Audible, we didn't talk about puzzles really at all.
Ugh, the best
we
part.
said they were good, and it's kind of the same type of thing where we said with the guideless thing, like
Yeah.
it doesn't tell you what to move
And
or
the
what to
dungeons are
do.
so big, and like
Yeah.
it's just you walk into this giant puzzle, and it's just puzzle of puzzles within puzzles.
What can I interact with?
Yes, and you just start from 0, and you just have to start walking around and checking things out, and that is so cool. And when people recommend games to me, they know how I feel about the Zelda puzzles, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's kind of like Zelda," because they know that those puzzles cannot be beat. I mean, because they're not, the puzzles in Zelda are not impossible. So like they make sense. Like there's some games you play where you're like, why would I know that? But all the Zelda games, when you get stuck on a puzzle and you figure it out, you're like, this is rewarding because this makes sense. I just needed to figure it out.
Yeah. And they've done like all kinds too.
Yes.
There's like physics-based stuff. There's, whatever angle you're looking at things.
Yeah.
Straight up just moving things around type of puzzles. I can't believe they just keep coming up with revolutionary ideas there as well.
It's amazing.
Always.
It's amazing.
They always come through. You got a game for me?
Yeah, I have to find the page. Hold on.
It's in the back of the...
It's in the back somewhere.
There's a game in the book?
No, but I made one.
Oh, okay.
I think it's before all the comics. Yes.
I don't know what this is. Fair warning. And usually I know everything before we...
So we're gonna play a game, and this is your reference, okay?
Oh, I get to
Yeah,
look
you
at
can look at it. So let's start with Zelda. So you see all the different Zelda.
Yeah.
And you can choose ones that aren't on the page, but these are like the different versions that we have. So the page just shows different Zeldas throughout the series.
Got it.
Kiss, marry, kill. So you got to kiss a Zelda, marry a Zelda, kill a Zelda.
Oh, no.
I know.
I'm going to kiss, marry, kill.
Yeah.
All right. I'm like recalling it as I'm going. Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as the options, we have the original
You can do any.
1986 Zelda, where she has brown hair, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
We have A Link to the Past, the 1991, Ocarina of Time, 1998.
You can
the
do not
Oracle
listed
series,
as well.
2001, and Wind Waker, 2002. Actually, we have all of them.
Oh, I didn't see the second page. Here we are.
Yeah. Oh, and you put a parrot sticker on there. Okay, this is a good radio. I like how heroic. Okay, who would I do is kind of the first one.
Yeah, who would you kiss, do?
Probably Skyward Sword. Bless you.
Thank you.
Skyward Sword is my kiss.
Okay,
I'm
same.
gonna marry. I gotta kill one.
Yeah.
Let's kill one first.
Okay, who are you
I'm
going
gonna
to
kill. Damn, this is hard.
I didn't think it'd be so hard for you.
Yeah. Because a couple of them I haven't played those games. Is there another page past that?
Ganondorf, if you want to include him.
No, I'm good. That'd make it interesting, though, wouldn't it? I'm gonna marry the Link to the Past.
Oh, that's a good one for you.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go ahead and kill Ocarina of Time.
Okay, interesting. I would also kiss Skyward Sword,
Okay.
and I would marry Twilight Princess. And killing is hard because I like all those Zeldas.
I do too. I was gonna kill the Wind Waker one, but look how cute she is.
I know.
Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it.
Maybe like the original Legend of Zelda. She looks a little pilgrimy for me.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean I want to like murder her, but
Fuck her.
I
Yeah.
just don't like think she if anybody's gonna go, let's
She
just
does
let her
look
go.
like the old school. She's probably really conservative and
Yeah,
shit.
right. No.
Votes the wrong way. Yeah, just
Let
her
her go. Let her go.
cut her off.
That was
fun.
my game for you.
All right, no, that's good. That's good. What about with Link?
With Link,
Oh
Do you-
man,
do you have a kiss, marry, kill?
I don't know if I'm gonna kiss. Well,
You could kiss.
gotta kiss one.
Yeah.
I hate. I'm actually not a fan of like the older one. Well, I don't really like the Ocarina of Time one. I guess I don't like the Ocarina of Time character models. So he can die. Who would be the best husband?
You're just taking out
Probably
Ocarina of Time.
Twilight Princess. He's fucking epic in that. And then the smutty one. I don't know. Link to the Past. That's my game, right?
Yeah.
Pink hair.
Does he have the pink hair on here? Where is he?
I don't think he's listed.
No, a Link to the Past, right here.
Oh, he's got blonde hair. What the fuck
What
is that?
is that about?
Bullshit error. We
No.
found an error in
We got
Hyrule
it.
Historia.
This is rude.
That was probably like the promo art or
Yeah, it had to be like the
stuff
rendering.
that's in the
Ended
manual.
up as like Twink the Link with the
Yeah.
pink hair, you know?
Yeah. What about you?
I would kiss Twilight Princess, marry Skyward Sword. Kill is so hard because
Dude, they're both minors in most of these.
oh yeah, we got it. Let's pretend that we are minors.
They're all adults.
or something. Is that
Yeah.
also weird? Let's pretend they're adults,
Yeah.
not that we're
They're all
minors. That feels a
18.
little weird.
Let's make them older, not ourselves younger.
Okay. Kill, I guess, would be
Kill the Ocarina of Time. Get his big arms and blocky legs.
I
out
feel
of
like
there.
probably the Adventure of Link. I really don't like his face.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Weird 80s.
Again, I don't want to kill any of them, but if I
80s
had
art.
to, based off looks, very superficial. I guess it's not based on the games. Well, if it was based on the games, it'd be Spirit Tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I rescind. I would like to kill Spirit Tracks, the whole game.
With the train.
With the
it's
train.
you can just run him over. All right, cool. Good idea. Good idea. That was fun. Do you have anything else on Zelda? It's our favorite thing.
No.
One of my favorite things. Like, if you could only play Zelda or Final Fantasy for the rest of your life, which one would you choose?
I really love both, but I think I would do Zelda.
Really?
What about you?
It's Zelda for sure.
Yeah. What about
You're
Zelda and
you're a
Kingdom
bigger
Hearts?
Final Fantasy fan than I am. Zelda.
Zelda's
Zelda
the-
probably over anything.
I think so too.
I don't know if like where God of War is gone, if I'd maybe give that a run, because its whole catalog is really fucking good too. But
Yeah,
probably Zelda.
I think so too.
It's that great. It's that impactful.
Yeah.
Who knows when we'll see a new game, but I'm anxious to see what comes up with the movie. I tried to get like a estimated release window, and multiple times it hit the year 2027.
Wow.
I was
I
like,
mean, take your time, I guess. Like,
They said
I
it's
want
in
something good.
development, so it's
Yeah.
got to be like pre whatever.
Yeah.
They're like,
Wow. They
building-
announced that so early.
Yeah, like building CGI models still or something.
Right.
We love Zelda. Let us know if you love Zelda, because I'm sure you do. Almost everybody does, if they've come across it.
Yeah.
Which, if you have any kind of Nintendo console, it's there.
Highly likely.
It's there. Go play some if you haven't.
Yes.
All right, good to be back. We'll be back with our year-end wrap here in a couple weeks.
Woo.
And yeah, good times. Alyssa,
Bye.
goodbye.